Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Grammar Clinic session. My name is Kieran, and I am an English support tutor at Elizabeth School of London. So, last time out, we were talking about conjunctions. We were talking about coordinating conjunctions. So, if you haven't seen that video yet, I would suggest you check it out now. I would have put a link on the screen there for you. So today we're going to build on that idea, but we're going to take it a little bit further, and we're going to be having a look at a different type of conjunction today. Okay, but let's refresh our memory a little bit of what conjunctions are. So conjunctions are those words that take clauses or sentences and put them together, connect them together well, and also shows a relationship between those two parts, those two sentences, those two clauses, just to make it easier, smoother, easier to understand. Okay, so in these sessions, we're going to be having a look at three different types of conjunction, and they all have a different purpose, different words that we use. So last time out, we looked at coordinating conjunctions. So as I said, check out that video if you haven't already. Today, we're going to be looking at subordinating conjunctions. And in our next session, we're going to be having a look at correlative conjunctions. All right. And if you haven't already, I would suggest that you check out our video on sentence types, simple, compound, complex sentences. Okay, so if you haven't already, I'm probably also going to put another link here on the screen for you, because it's quite useful to look at that video to understand the different types of sentences, because this is how they are made by using these types of conjunctions. So we are going to be having a look at the second one, which is subordinating conjunctions today. So subordinating conjunctions are those words like although, because, and while, which connect a dependent and an independent clause. Now, if you don't know what that means, again, have a look at that video about sentence types. But independent clauses are like a sentence on its own that fully makes sense. A dependent clause is a sentence that doesn't make any sense if it's not connected to an independent clause. So it only has some logic, only has some sense when you connect it to something else. Okay? So here, like, because it was raining, they decided to stay indoors. So because it was raining is the dependent clause, because that doesn't make any sense on its own. Because if we remove the rest of that sentence, because it was raining, that doesn't mean anything. Okay. It only has some logic when we put the resulting part of it. They decided to stay indoors. So, because is a subordinating clause, it connects them together. Because it was raining is the dependent clause, and it only has any sense if we connect it with that independent clause. Okay, so we've used because there to describe like a cause and effect and a result that comes from the other part of the sentence. All right, so it makes it easier to connect them together. It has more logic, more sense. So that is the reason why we use conjunctions. They are the glue that connects our sentences and clauses together, makes it easier to understand for people, and it is smoother as well. So when you are writing essays in higher education, for example, this is where you definitely should be using subordinating conjunctions in general. So let's move on to our topic of subordinating conjunctions. So in this next part of the session, we're going to be having a look at four specific types of subordinating conjunction, which are when, if, because, and although. There are many more of them. Okay, but these are the ones which you are most likely to use when you're writing your assignments, essays, etc. And we're also going to practice creating some longer, complex sentences by using conjunctions. So let's have a look at this in context. So here we've got two different, not really sentences, two different examples here. So I want you to have a look at them And I want you to notice the differences between the two. Okay? And more specifically, which one sounds more connected? Is it the first or the second? And why? Okay, so let's consider it together. Dark clouds gathered overhead. Raindrops started to fall. I went out to the garden. I picked some herbs. So that's the first one. The second one, although raindrops started to fall when dark clouds were gathering overhead, I still went out to the garden to pick some herbs. So, which one sounds more connected? Well, it's the second one, of course, isn't it? And why does it sound more connected? Because we've used subordinating conjunctions in order to connect the sentences together. So it's not four separate sentences. It is just one big complex sentence here. Okay. So it sounds better because we're using subordinating conjunctions, and that's what you are going to use in your essays, and that's why your essays are going to sound more connected as well. So let's have a look at this other example sentence we've got here. If the right ingredients are added, the potion will glow brightly. So where is the conjunction in this sentence? Okay, it is. It is if. Okay, so if here gives us a condition. Like if we do this thing, then this other thing will happen. If we don't do this thing, then the other thing won't happen. So we've connected them together using the conjunction if. So conjunctions can come in the middle of a sentence, or they can come at the start of a sentence, and we use them to connect words, phrases, and clauses. Like it says here, is like a bridge between two different ideas. So we've got the potion contains many herbs. It will be potent. So we've connected them using so. Okay. So is another example here of a subordinating conjunction. Okay, so can you think of any more? Let's have a look at some others then. So we have when, if, because, and although. So these are only kind of small words, but they have a big impact when it comes to your writing because they help to create more complex, smoother sentences. So do we know how to use these? Well, hopefully so. Okay, so let's have a look at the first one, when. So when the sun sets, the sky turns orange and pink. So when here is used to link a specific time or circumstance to a result. So if that first thing definitely happens, then that other thing will happen. Okay. All right. So we have if, as in if you finish your homework now, you can sleep earlier. This is used to express something that is possible or something that may happen, and then the condition, the result from that condition. Because you probably already know this one, this provides a reason or cause for something happening. And although it was too sweet, they still ate all the brownies that I baked. Although is used here to talk about two contrastive situations, so a positive and a negative, or a negative and a positive. If you want to connect those sentences together, you can use although. Okay, so if you notice here, we've got a little poem. So in a land of dreams, all wishes come alive. When the stars twinkle, many magic begins to thrive. A unicorn dances in a forest so bright. If you believe, it will come into sight. Because it is time, the fairies will sing, sprinkling joy and laughter. It's a wonderful thing. Although the night is dark, the moon shines high. Adventure awaits under the enchanted sky. So it's a lovely poem. We read it for fun, but we also read it because there are some subordinating conjunctions in there. Of course there are. So let's look at this example here. When the stars twinkle, magic begins to thrive. So this is used to link a specific time when the stars twinkle, and then the result of that thing. Magic begins to thrive. So in this poem, when is used to link the time when the stars twinkle to the magic beginning to take effect. Okay, so they happen at the same time. So we've got an example of if here. So if you believe it, it will come into sight. So this is used to express a condition or something that is possible. So if you believe suggests that you can believe or you can't believe, it's your choice. Okay. So if you do that thing, then you will see it. It will come into sight. Okay. Now, because, like we said, you probably already know this one, because it is time, the fairies would sing. Um, so in our poem, because it is time, tells us why the fairies are singing, as they have the time to do it. Okay, so it gives us the cause or a reason for something. And last of all, we've got although. So like we said, although links to contrasting ideas, positive and negative, negative and positive. Although the night is dark, negative, the moon shines high, positive. Okay. So let's have a little bit of a practice just to check that we understand. So we're going to see some sentences next, and we just need to decide which conjunction is needed. So the first one, the air is not still enough to light the magic candle. The hidden portal will not appear. So which is the correct one here? Well, it is if. It is if, because only if this thing happens or doesn't happen, then the other thing will happen or not happen as well. Number two, so there were many stars in the sky. The moon was nowhere to be found. So what do we think for that one? So it seems like we got a positive and a negative, so we would use although. Okay. Number three, the potion started smelling bad. The wizard added the wrong herbs. So that's trying to tell us something that happened at the same time. So we would use. Oh, no, sorry. No, no. This actually explains why one thing happened. It was the result of something else. So we would use because. Okay. Number four, the magical gate opens only. The golden key is turned 5 times. So this is where you should use when, of course, because it does happen at the same time. Okay. So as a little summary then. So when is used when two things happen at the same time. Okay. We have if for if something is possible or a condition. Because is used to give a reason or a cause. And although is used to connect two contrasting ideas. Okay. So we've learned how we use these. So what we should do is use them. So the next time you have an essay or an assignment, a report or something like that, make sure that you are using subordinating conjunctions to connect your sentences together to make it smoother, easier to read, and you will get better marks. Okay. So thanks everybody for attending. Remember, do have a look at the other videos that I suggested, and I will see you next time for our next workshop on correlative conjunctions. Okay, so I look forward to seeing you then. Bye bye.